The cafe was quiet in the way only early mornings are, machines cooling down from yesterday, chairs stacked with their legs crossed like they were waiting. I had come in before sunrise to check the inventory and make coffee for myself, a habit I'd picked up back when opening hours depended on whether the lights even turned on. The knock wasn't a knock. It was a blow. The glass door rattled, the bell clanged wildly, and then my brother's voice cut through the quiet like a cracked siren. "Open up! This is my cafe!" I didn't move at first. I stood behind the counter with a cup warming my hands, listening to the familiar cadence of outrage. Outside, I could hear my parents chiming in, my father's voice sharp, my mother's pitched high with accusation. They weren't improvising. They had practiced this on the drive over. "Greedy thing," my mother shouted. "We trusted you." I set the cup down. My hands didn't shake, which surprised me. I reached under the counter and took the camera from its charging cradle. Red light on. I slipped it into my jacket pocket, lens exposed. For 6 years, mornings like this had been quiet. For 6 years, I had unlocked that door alone. I remembered the first week we opened. The cafe didn't even have a sign yet. My brother had stood right where he was now, hands on his hips, telling friends it was our place. My parents had told neighbors the same thing. I hadn't corrected them. Back then, it felt harmless, almost comforting, to share the illusion. The banging grew louder. I walked to the door and flipped the lock. The bell rang once, timid now, like it knew better. My brother pushed inside, breathless, eyes already scanning the space, as if he expected to see his name carved into the walls. My parents followed, faces set in righteous fury. My mother clutched a folder thick with papers. My father waved it like evidence. "This ends today," my brother said. "What brought the loan documents? You think you can steal from family?" I stepped aside to let them in fully. The door closed behind them with a soft click that felt final. They talked over each other, accusations piling up without landing. I listened. I always had. But this time, I didn't answer. I reached into my jacket and placed the camera on the counter, turning it so they could see the lens. I didn't announce it. I didn't threaten. I just let it sit there, recording.
"What's that?" my brother asked. "A wrecker,"
I said. My voice sounded neutral to my own ears. For my mother scoffed. "You're unbelievable." She opened the folder and slapped it down on the counter, papers fanning out. Loan agreements. Signatures. Numbers circled in pen. My brother leaned over them triumphantly. "You couldn't have done this without us," he said. "Everyone knows that?" I nodded. "You're right." That seemed to disarm him more than denial would have. He hesitated, recalibrating. "I couldn't have done it without the loan," I continued. "So I paid it." My father frowned. "You paid some of it." I reached beneath the counter again and pulled out a binder, worn thick, labeled by year. I placed it next to the folder they'd brought. The contrast was immediate. Their papers were clean, hopeful. Mine were heavy with time. "Every month," I said. 6 years. I opened the binder, bank statements, transfer confirmations, dates highlighted, amounts matched to the loan schedule. No theatrics, just sequence. My brother flipped through the pages too fast, as if speed might change the content. My mother's face tightened. She reached for a chair and sat down without asking. "This isn't what we agreed," she said. I leaned against the counter. "We didn't agree on much. You told people it was yours. I didn't stop you. You stopped paying after year 1. I didn't ask you to resume." My father cleared his throat. "You should have told us." "I did," I said. "Twice. You told me not to make things awkward." Silence pooled between us. The espresso machine ticked as it cooled. My brother straightened. "So what? You think paperwork makes this yours? Ownership dies." He laughed, brittle. "You're recording this. You planning to humiliate us?" "No," I said. "I'm planning to be accurate." Outside, the street began to wake. A delivery truck idled. Someone walked past and glanced in, curious. My mother closed her eyes. "We're family," she said, as if trying the word out for size. "You don't do this to family." I felt something loosen in my chest, not relief exactly, but clarity. "Family," I said, doesn't show up with papers and shouting. The camera's red light blinked steady. My father gathered their documents, slower now.
What do you want?
I thought about that. The question had followed me for years, usually framed as accusation. Wanting something in our family was treated like theft. I want this conversation to be the last one about who owns this place, I said. I want the payments recognized. I want the records to be clear, and us, my brother asked, quieter. I looked around the cafe, the tables I'd refinished myself, the menu board I rewrote when suppliers changed, the door I unlocked every morning. I felt tired, but not unsure. You're welcome here, I said. His customer flinched, as if struck. My mother stood abruptly. So that's it, she said. You choose money over blood. I didn't answer. There was no version of this where my answer would satisfy her. They left without another word. The bell rang again, sharp and brief. Through the glass, I watched them stand on the sidewalk, conferring in low voices, their certainty gone but their anger intact. Eventually, they walked away. I turned off the camera and set it back in its place. When I unlocked the door for customers an hour later, nothing looked different. The chairs were down. The grinder hummed. A regular nodded hello. But something had shifted all the same. Ownership, I realized, wasn't just legal. It was emotional. And claiming it came with a cost I'd been postponing. As the morning filled with voices that weren't raised, with transactions that were clear and mutual, I felt the weight of that cost settle in. The cafe remained open. The family for now did not. I kept working.